I want to start out by thanking all of you for coming to this wonderful event. I truly want to thank the venue, Jess and all her crew, doing a wonderful job. I want to thank God for stopping the rain. And I truly am so excited that all of you came to enjoy Ryan and Brandie's marriage. I want to thank our daughter and the maid of honor, Adrian. Where is Adrian? Oh. So this has been a bit of a ride getting to this point, and I want to thank Adrian for texting me from time to time and saying, "Dad, you better step in. It's getting a little stressful." I want to thank the groomsmen, the bridesmaids for just taking care of Ryan and Brandie so very well. Tina for working 24/7. For the last several months, 24/7, and I mean at 3 a.m. she's waking me up. Well, what do you think about this idea? I go, that's enough ideas for a while. Tina's faithful crew, there's so many, I don't want to miss anybody, but there's a couple of ladies here that are on Tina's faithful crew. One of them's from Fort Myers and the other one's from Charlotte. And whatever event we have, whether it's a graduation party or whatever, they fly in, they drive in, they come in before the weekend begins. They work from the time they get there till the time they end, till the time the event ends. And that's Mrs. Heidi Greer and Mrs. Susie Ruddleston. So when we have these events, they don't really have any fun. But tonight, you guys are off the clock. Tonight, you're off the clock. Tina's cousin, Mike and Ann, they're always there for us. We send them on wild trips at the last minute. Go get this, go get that. Whenever we need help, we're so thankful for them. And you're off duty as well tonight. You're off duty as well. Mr. and Mrs. Nathan, thank you for taking all the time and effort, well, first of all, to come down here from Charlotte, but also all the work that you've done with Ryan and Brandie and preparing them for marriage, and we're just very, very thankful for that. I want to say a special thank you to our spiritual leaders, Mr. and Mrs. John Strain. They're always there. They're always there for us, guiding and directing us. And when we tell them that we're moving Adrian again or we're moving Brandie again for the 8th or 9th time, he just chuckles and shakes his head. And he's only been here 5 years, so we moved him 19 times before you got here. So Tina will be out of town. Where's Tina? Well, she went to move Brandie. How old are those girls? So, Ryan and Brandie's story. I do remember it like yesterday, which for most of you realize my memory is just not the greatest, but I do remember this. About 5 years ago in Greenville, South Carolina, Tina and I were there for a Holy Day weekend, for a spring Holy Day weekend, and Brandie was at college. I think it was a Thursday. We were there for 4 or 5 days, and all her roommates, Savannah and Alexis, they had gone home for the weekend, for the Easter weekend. So we're talking to Brandie on the phone. She's all alone. We're out in Greenville having a great time. So it took a little persuasion, but we got her on an airplane that day. I think Mr. Strain remembers that, but we got her on the airplane that day, and she flew out to join us. So the three of us went to services together. I don't know if it was a holy day or Sabbath, but we went to services together, Tina and I and Brandie, and there he was, Clark Kent. This is when Ryan and Brandie officially met. For the next 5 years, everything went perfectly, flawlessly, and no hurdles whatsoever. For those of you who are close to Ryan and Brandie, you know that that is not exactly the truth. But they've been tried and tested. Their relationship has grown stronger and stronger, and now they're ready for marriage, and now they are married. You see, we believe that God put them together, and they just had to grow in certain areas, as we all do, to come to the point when they were ready for marriage. And Tina and I are so thankful and blessed to have Ryan as a son-in-law. We have 2 girls, and now we have a son. And Tina, of course, wanted me to add that we're planning to have grandchildren. No pressure. We're thrilled to join our 2 families together. We're thrilled to spend time with Mary and Jim and the family and the boys and get to know each other. If I could offer a couple of words of advice, we've heard this already many times, but to all of us that are married and to Ryan and Brandie, love and respect. Love and respect. Putting God first in our lives will always lead us down the right path in marriage and whatever else we have. We look forward to a joyous evening with all of you together. And if you all raise your glasses and join me in a toast, here's to the new Mr. and Mrs. Ryan Dawson.
Thank you. I have notes as well, but the font is much smaller, as I've noticed. So first, I would like to also thank my parents, Ryan's parents, and all of the family and friends who have been so instrumental in this special, special, perfect day. And thank you all, everyone else, for coming and sharing this day with us. So to start, I decided to give you a little insight onto the things that define Brandie and I's relationship. As the older sister, Brandie does see me as the source to all answers to things that are commonly found by others by utilizing Google. We live in different states, but she will still text me on a regular basis asking me things like, how much does a MacBook cost? Or how do I write a cover letter? I do have to say these texts have seriously dwindled in the past few months, and I can only assume that Ryan is her new Googler. And I'm proud to pass on that baton. So I, of course, had to Google how to write a maid of honor speech, and they instructed me to establish with you all when I first met the bride. So according to my calculations, I met her 24 years, 6 months, and 2 days ago. Another role I have in Brandie's life is providing her with frequent unsolicited advice. The last month or so, that has consisted of me sending her countless photos of how she should do her hair for the wedding day. I won, and it looks amazing. But that really originated around when Brandie was 3 years old. She had absolutely perfect ringlet curls, and I told her it would be a great idea if we went into her room and I cut them all off with my red play plastic scissors. And a few minutes later, we paraded into our living room, and my mother, Tina, began to sob. So when did I know Ryan was the one for Brandie? Well, I'm going to let you all into a little secret. Ryan probably doesn't even know I know this. But we can all feel confident that God has blessed this marriage because Ryan actually prayed long ago that if Brandie was the one for him, that she would eventually move to Charlotte. And me, knowing Brandie and her love for all things South Florida, thought that would never happen. But one day, she just quit her job and sold her brand new Jeep named Red Lobster and packed up and moved to Charlotte. And since then, it was history. I am so proud of the kind and humble and caring woman that Brandie has become, and truly happy that she found her forever in Ryan. And I can see how you compliment her in so many ways. Where you give her stability, she gives you spontaneity, and where she gives you motivation, you give her strength. I have seen how over the past few years how much you both have helped each other grow, and I know you will continue to do so into the future. You fit perfectly into our family, Ryan. Both my parents absolutely adore you, and that's quite the feat. They're both thrilled to have you as their first son, and I'm equally thrilled to have a brother. You're the type of man no father or older sister has to worry about their daughter or little sister marrying, as it's so clear to us how much you love and put Brandie first. And lastly, I would like to take another moment to thank God for his blessing on this perfect union, as I know that both Ryan and Brandie firmly trusted in his plan for their future. And as Ephesians 3:20 says, to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. So cheers to you both. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Well, I kind of wish I went last. No. I mean, first, yes. I'm not one with speeches, so I wrote something. 20% I wrote of it. So, my name is Stefan, for those of you who don't know me, and I've been best friends with Ryan for the last 7 years. I've actually known him a lot longer, but it wasn't until 2010 at a church weekend where we bonded over our brutal honesty and mutual dislike for one another. That's true. After seeing each other a few more times, naturally the next step in establishing a solid foundation for our friendship was to live together. And let's just say that ended up being the longest 6 months of both our lives. There were many times I wasn't sure if our friendship would make it, but somehow we ended up being even closer. We've had many ups and downs since then, but we've been there to see each other through it all. You challenged me and don't put up with my crap, and I've always been there to do the same for you. Ryan, I'm honored to be standing here today by your side. I never thought this day would come, but I am so very happy now that it has. However in shock I may still be. Brandie, I don't know you that well, but if you finally decided to say yes to Dawson, then at least I know you have good taste. So let me give you some advice. Living with Ryan won't be easy. So make sure you have some earplugs for that earth-shaking snoring. And an enormous amount of patience for all of his endearing habits. But all joking aside, though, he does have a big heart and is a great guy. I haven't been married long, but I have learned in the short time that love and happiness is a choice. So put God first, be friends, and choose to love each other every day, and you will get through anything. I wish you both the best. To Ryan and Brandie.
Great job.
We wanted to start by saying thank you to our beautiful best friend, Brandie, and her handsome groom, Ryan. We are so thankful for the both of you.
And of course, a sincere thank you to Mr. and Miss Stevens and everyone involved in making this magical night happen.
And might I add, in such a short period of time. Anyway, my name is Savannah, and I've known Brandie since elementary school, but we really became best friends in high school and have been inseparable ever since. And freshman year at UCF is where we picked up this one.
My name is Alexis, and I'm forever thankful to my two best friends. I have to say, if you can survive freshman year in the dorms together, your friendship can survive just about anything.
That's for sure. And now, Ryan, this part's for you, and maybe we should have told you before you said I do, but the three of us are a package deal, so now that you've married our best friend, you're officially stuck with us too.
But all joking aside, we couldn't ask for a better man to love and take care of our dearest friend. It's so evident that God has set you both aside for one another, and seeing how well you balance each other out and the love and joy that exudes from your relationship, we know you're bound for a lifetime of love, happiness, and blessings.
We are so honored that we got to stand by your side today and can't wait to continue to celebrate life with you both. We love you endlessly.
With that being said, who's ready to celebrate Mr. and Miss Dawson?
Raise your glass and let's get this party started. Woo! We don't have one. Cheers.
All right. Well, when I first met Ryan, I was but a boy. I was 14 years old. I went to camp, and Ryan was already a counselor because he was an adult at the time. And I remember seeing Dawson, and he came into my dorm to give someone advice, one of my dorm mates, and he was giving amazing advice, and I just sat there just eating it up, and I was so enthralled and enamored with this amazing man who was just a life guru who knew everything, and I knew nothing because I was 14 and he was an adult. Wow. But, you know, he was very much like a celebrity to me at the time. Anyway, okay, moving on. So, you know, I would see him at camp for years because he was always there, and years later, when I finally reached adulthood in 2012, I was 18, and I was on media staff, and I had a media bike. It was a child's bike that I was riding around camp with to take pictures of everything. And one day, wow, it was amazing. One day, I was riding on the media bike, and Dawson, he needed to catch up with one of his campers, and he said, "Hey, Chris, can I borrow your bike?" And me, I was like, yeah. I was like, First, since when did Ryan Dawson know my name? And second, I just jumped right off the bike. I was like, take it. And he took it, and I was happy. Big moments in my life, big moments. So that was 2012. After that, you know, we continued to be acquaintances, and then the next year, I became a counselor myself, and I reached the level of adulthood that he had reached long ago. And from there, we had more contact with one another because I was also a counselor, and we became friends. Wow. Anyway, okay, so let's see, what do I got here? Okay, all right, here we go. Hold this, Brandie, thank you. Well, last year I moved to Charlotte, and I remember before I moved, I told Ryan that I was only going to be there for a year, and he laughed at me. He said, "No, you're not. You're going to stay." I said that I was going to be there for a year, and I've been here for 3. And I'm going to stay in Charlotte. So he was right, but lucky me, I've gotten to spend so much time with him since I've been there, and so much time with Brandie. I've also known Brandie for a number of years, but this year has been an amazing opportunity to get to know them on a whole other level. There have been ups and there have been downs. There have been tears by me. But I am so grateful for the opportunities that I've had, and being able to see how God has been with you and blessed your relationship, and how you two have grown together toward one another. And I'm so blessed and happy to be a part of your lives, and that you're part of mine as well. So, a toast to Ryan and Brandie.